May. Uh,
Sure.
I kind of thought I'd give you a little overview of who FieldOne is as an organization, a little bit about our
Yep.
technology, and then kind of step through what we refer to as our mutual success process, and then really dive into what your goals, your processes, and requirements are. Make sense?
Yep. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so at a high level, organizationally, FieldOne has been in place since 2001. Our uh,
Okay.
our legacy and essentially what the company was founded upon was really the goal to automate service operations and operations management in general. Certainly, that functionality has been broadly deployed across other front office type business processes, but foundationally, we're made up of not only great technologists, but certainly individuals who understand operations management, understand field service. I personally was both an operations manager and a technician in my earlier days, so I get a good sense of really requirements and, of course, all of the associated business processes. Our technology has been deployed across literally over 2,100 organizations. And it includes our legacy platform, which was referred to as Terra, as well as our FieldOne Sky platform, which is really the go-forward platform that we've been really leading with in terms of functionality and overall capabilities. We are a Microsoft-managed ISV. We're actually one of 80. I should say we're in the top 80 of the developer and platform evangelist program. That means we are very tightly integrated with Microsoft and that managed both on the technical side as well as the resource side. So we have a very strong relationship with them. And the reason I bring that up is essentially FieldOne Sky is built on the Microsoft Dynamics CRM infrastructure. So
Right.
so we really have the ability to easily configure, as you can probably appreciate, not only displays and workflows, but really all aspects of the system with pretty much no need to write any code. So it really becomes a great platform for continuous process improvement and really to foster user adoption. And to that end, we have integration with pretty much most of the popular back office systems, including accounting and ERP systems, everything from SAP to Oracle to JD Edwards all the way down to QuickBooks. The platform, as you can appreciate, is since it is Dynamics CRM, is natively connected to other Dynamics back-end infrastructures like GP or AX or Navision, as well as other Microsoft technologies like SharePoint, Project Server, you name it. Certainly Outlook as well. And the platform, if you're familiar at all with Dynamics, I'm not sure to what degree, but certainly multi-currency, multi-language, multi-time zone. What we've also added to the functionality is tightly integrated mobility. So essentially that same configurability that we have within the Dynamics infrastructure, we have with our mobile solution as well. And that supports everything from smartphones to tablets to laptops, whether Windows, Android, or iOS. It's a configure once, deploy across all operating systems. So it becomes very easy for an organization to manage from essentially a mobile device management perspective, but also based on roles and credentials, users have access to exactly what they should and what they need. Right. So at the end of the day, since the system supports automated workflows and dialogues, so does the mobile devices as well. So we get into a lot of requirements that have a high degree of forms management capability, and we're able to really collapse numerous manual processes as part of that and really provide a tightly integrated solution that provides everything from turn-by-turn directions to customer signature to pictures, again to forms, a lot of flexibility there. And it runs native to the OS. So essentially, whether an individual is connected or disconnected, they can continue working until they find a persistent connection, and then all the data is dynamically synchronized throughout the enterprise.
Yep.
Okay. So I've mentioned our mutual success process. What we like to do is we like to really understand and have at least some joint goals in terms of how the decision process would go, understand our role, make sure that we are the right fit for the organization and the goals of the organization. So this is kind of that very first step.
Yep, of course.
Okay. And as we continue through this, to your point, we can provide what we refer to as a level one demo, which is kind of a product overview, and a kind of a drive-through. And then as we get closer to really understanding your processes, we can actually begin to configure the screens around your environment, set up really some workflows that are automated, and really get it to a point where it's very close from a viewable perspective to what a user would have if we're installed. And that would be our level 2 demo, as we like to call it. So very, very structured. Again, at all points, we're looking to make sure that we understand what the value is, what the return on investment is, but more importantly, that we are functionally a fit, and we would meet your current and potentially future goals.
Sure.
Make sense?
Yeah, it sure does.
Okay, I didn't want to breeze through that, but certainly wanted to make sure that at least I communicated that. So, in terms of your project, your goals, if you can kind of give me a sense of, I guess, what the user community might be and the geographies that you need to support, etc.
Sure. And I also have a functional requirements document that I'll send to you.
Oh, perfect.
I did want to update it based on some feedback from some other potential solution providers. But I could also send you the document as is. It's what other folks have right now. And then I would send you the update just like I would send the update to all the other potential providers, just whatever you prefer. Yeah, I can send you what I got right now, or you could wait to get the revision, which may take a couple of days.
Yeah, I love both.
Okay, we'll go ahead and I'll send the revision this afternoon. Basically, we've got a couple of high-level goals here. We want to move away from a very cumbersome, overly manual process to a more automated process for managing our installation technicians and our service technicians. Right now, we run a Microsoft Outlook app combined with spreadsheeting and interfacing with third-party technician provider portals are really the tools that we use to schedule and dispatch technicians right now.
Got it. Now, are these your employees, or are these essentially subcontractors, or a mix?
A mix.
Okay.
So basically, we want to improve the efficiency of the dispatch process, basically measured by field level dollars spent per unit of work performed. Pretty generic metric, right?
Yep.
Lower cost per ticket hour. Drive some greater efficiency. We do want to increase the percentage of installation and service tickets completed by our internal techs. So not only do we want to schedule more efficiently, use the right resources, make better scheduling decisions, which will drive down, cost per ticket hour. We also want to build up information over time that lets us know in what geographies we're using a heavy amount of external resources, because then we could cost justify putting more internal resources in that geography.
Got it.
Make sense?
Yep.
We also have just undergone a reorg, and we've got quite a few branches and a central dispatch location, and we want to centralize dispatching for the majority of our branches and standardize the way that dispatching takes place across all of our branches.
Got it.
We also want to increase our capacity to dispatch, track and complete installation service tickets without adding to headcount. Now, obviously, we intend to grow, so we will add to headcount eventually, but we want to leverage technology to a much greater degree than we are before we add headcount.
Excellent. No, I appreciate it. So in terms of, I guess, some of the components necessary for that, if you look at the types of service and repairs or the types of installations, what we often find is gosh, and this is going to sound like a high number, but it is actually a realistic number, that 80% of, the incident types, as we call them, are common, and we're able to really take a look at not only the components of those incidents, like what type of repair based upon equipment or service level agreement, but what resources are required, what equipment, what parts would be necessary, all of which enable us to get a better sense of what the service duration would be as part of not only dispatching and automating that dispatching process, but also as a metrics to continue to refine over time as you learn more from the deployment.
That makes sense.
So I'm assuming that that's essentially the kind of exercise that you'd like to go through as part of this decision process.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Excellent. Okay.
So I went ahead and flipped you the functional requirements document as it currently stands. I've sent this out to other people, so it contains the same caveats. There are actually some internal questions in here. So kind of giving you there's a couple things in brackets where I still need to get internal answers. So I'm sending you a pretty wide open document in its early stages, right?
Appreciate it. No worries. That's still going to be good information for us to better understand how you like to approach this.
What I've found is, I'm coming from the outside in. I've served in several different roles within Westech, now Interface. We were acquired by Interface right about a year ago, Westech was. So I'm still getting up to speed on what the demands of the larger company are. I've really been focused on the way that my branch ran till recently. I've recently moved into a program management role. I've been in our development organization. I've been in our account management organization. I've been in our finance organization, and now I'm back in a project management role. So, with all that said, just getting back and re-engaging in a project role. So I'm getting up to speed on what our company demands of this type of solution, and I'm also getting up to speed on what all of the potential partners, the kind of questions they ask. So based on just the knowledge I've acquired over the past month since I last created this document, I'm going to create revisions to it.
Excellent, excellent.
And I'll get that sent out to you. A lot of people are asking the same questions. The easiest one that's not included in here is, well, how many technicians do you have? How many external partners are you using? That sort of thing. Everybody's asking that same question. That needs to be included in this document to make sure that you guys are all, making assumptions based off the same numbers.
Appreciated.
So,
and I do have your document, by the way.
Cool. I had it open.
I do.
And when I'm talking to him about this, I can just hit the, save and send feature on Outlook and just keep this moving forward. So yeah, you've got that sent over. So that is kind of a high level. This whole thing's evolving.
Got it. So now, do you have Microsoft CRM currently installed?
No. That's one of the other projects I'm working on. We are just getting in the CRM pool. One of the things that I did today was conduct a demo for one of our sales branches so they could just start entering companies and opportunities in there. We also have a project underway where we're putting in, quotes and opportunities. That's the sales side.
Okay, so let me make sure I understood that though. So you are using Dynamics CRM at this point?
Barely. We are not using it for case management at all yet, which is where which would hit this project most directly.
Got it. But now you have Microsoft deployed for all users or just a small user community at this point?
For CRM, it's eventually going to go to all users.
Okay. And since we're built on Dynamics CRM, it becomes very easy for us to actually essentially load our functionality into your existing deployment. And what that would do is go well beyond case management to provide really that comprehensive field service capabilities that I had referenced.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to dive into that. Just to let you know where we are on case management. My branch, which represents 1/3 of the total company, even though we're acquired, so we're really not a branch. We're like another corporate location relative to the size of the other branches. For the most part, we had a business need to move quickly off of our legacy CRM solution, so using the acronym generically.
Yep.
And so we're deploying some thin case management functionality in CRM, and we have to go ahead and get that going right now. But it does open up the opportunity to work with you sooner rather than later as we roll case management functionality out to our corporate office and eventually our other branches. So be interested to learn, what you would bring to the table on that. So it kind of goes outside just the scheduling task. But unfortunately, we've got parallel efforts that are going to collide. And, interestingly, most organizations have that.
No, I can appreciate that. Now, is your company headquartered in Plano, Texas?
We are not. We're, like I said, we were acquired. So the interface is actually based in a suburb of St. Louis, Missouri.
Got it. Okay, and I'm actually thumbing through the document as we speak as well. So all of the items here are things that we can address as part of a demonstration, even a walkthrough. And what I can do is I can even send you some links to a real simple type of workflow to show you that. But what you'll see in there is that it is essentially dynamic CRM. So the nice thing about this is obviously from a user's perspective, there's one login, there's one portal, there's one code-based, and it's fully configurable, as you know.
Yep. Yeah, that's powerful. And just to let you know, we've already engaged several other providers, and getting you involved in the mix kind of behind some of the other providers because of that. I think you met with Matt Montana at Convergence.
Correct.
And based on his recommendation, we're getting you guys involved.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about it is we can really spin up very quickly again because we are dynamic CRM. So all of the data that you'd need from an implementation perspective, really all of the contract management functionality becomes very easy to deploy, and then it becomes a matter of really taking a look at some of those really valuable areas of the solution that are going to enable you to cost justify not only regions, to your point, moving from subs to actually direct resources, but also understand what are the components of increasing the number of actual tickets or actual work orders that you need to complete or would like to complete.
Right.
Lowering the. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was going to say lowering the ticket hours by doing more optimized scheduling, and again, really understanding what are the actual components of an incident. Is it the drive time that you're getting dinged on, or that you can improve? Is it parts availability? Is it skills checking? Is it certification checking? All of those things that come into that continuous process improvement functionality.
Yep, those are all the things we're looking for. You actually, just kind of thinking out loud, I think we've kind of hit the mutual brainstorming portion of our meeting here. You bring an interesting dynamic to the table, no pun intended.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
that it seems like your application runs natively within CRM. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is built on dynamic CRM.
And let me know how this plays out. What we'd envisioned, because most of the other solutions that we've talked about were independent applications where we would build an interface to CRM, right? Where you do your initial ticketing in CRM, you export that ticket to their solution. It does all the scheduling and tracks it, and once it's completed, passes the completed ticket back over to CRM, for example, or straight into Navision. And just to let you know that we're using CRM we're spinning up to run CRM as our operational CRM tool, and Navision is going to be our back office accounting package.
Right, and as you can appreciate, with that native connector to Navision, it's not a third-party product that you have to worry about, whether or not that company is going to change ownership. I mean, it's a Microsoft connector for Navision. It's designed
Right.
for that integration, and it's also designed around the notion that organizations have a front office that's truly a real-time environment. To your point, operational environment, and the back office tends to be a bit more transactional by nature. So we have the ability to take really all service delivery, all installation management across multiple phases, all of the parts, inventory, logistics, time, expense management, really all of the service activities, and keep that in that dynamic front office environment. And then as you dynamically schedule and complete work orders, all that data is made available through the standard Microsoft connector to Navision to back office for actual invoicing. We can even do pro forma invoicing out of the front office. We have automated escalation, review, and approval processes, as you might imagine. Certainly complete auditability and traceability of really anything across the entire system. And you're able to manage your contracts to a much more flexible and greater degree than you would normally do if you were building those within a back office environment. So if you have very unique requirements to close a certain piece of business, and you need to have that part of your service level agreement or your contract, all of that is dynamically managed. And since, again, it's the Dynamics infrastructure, you can create not only standard reports, but you can set up views that are company-wide, that are personal, dynamic dashboards that give you, your specific KPIs as well as, the organizational KPIs. So very flexible, and gosh, we're loaded within CRM within the day, and now it's a matter of really getting your workflows, getting your processes, making sure we have access to essentially all of your data within your existing environment, which we would within your CRM deployment. Then it becomes a lot simpler from a project perspective.
Well, yeah, but here's the quandary, and here's what I was driving toward. Most of the other solutions we've talked about were getting up and running very quickly in a standalone sort of way while we worked on an interface. Interestingly enough, here we've got parallel projects going. Right now, Navision actually handles a lot of ticketing and case management. We're trying to move people out of that pool and into CRM and make start using Navision more as our accounting solution and not have operational processes take place within Navision.
Appreciated.
So there are efforts that we have ongoing in CRM right now to get order, quoting and order entry up and running. I've already mentioned the fact that we're starting to deploy some case management solution. So given that our CRM deployment's really in its infancy, what ability is there to kind of get you, even though you're within CRM, kind of get it going in a standalone kind of mode while we work on continuing to migrate a lot of processes out of Navision into CRM. Like I said, so you get the question. Our CRM solution is very, very fluid right now, and we're very much in the act of deploying new functionality all the time. And so how could we kind of keep you segregated from that other mess in the short term?
Right. So the question that I'd have is, are you deployed on or within your own data centers, or is this a software as a service model that you're using for Microsoft CRM?
We're in our own data center.
Okay. And going forward, would you want to be in your own data center for the whole overall solution?
We believe so, yes.
Okay. So what we can do is we can actually start up individual users within our hosted center, complete the configuration, and when that configuration is reviewed and approved, move that over to your data center. So it becomes actually a very simple transition. As part of that move, what happens then is, as you're familiar with, in fact, I can even show you. Before I do that, if you're familiar with the bar on the left where you see cases, you see sales, you see marketing, etc. You'll see.
I actually conducted a demo this morning. Yeah.
Yep. You'll see FieldOne Sky, and that's the big difference. And that will now run within the Dynamics infrastructure, and then you decide which data, essentially within the database, you need access to. So ultimately, it will most likely be across your database once you deploy it. So now everything
Okay.
that you've done within CRM is working fine. And in fact, we are not impacting the sales side of what you did, the marketing side of what you did, or even the case side of what you've
Okay.
configured.
I see what you're
However,
saying.
having said that, we have access to all the data.
Right. You run a hosted instance while we run our native instance and keep that project moving forward, and then we agree on a time to merge the two.
Correct. Which is a very simple process to do.
Yeah. Cool. That was an easier answer than I was expecting. I was really worried that your one of your greatest selling points would also be one of your greatest liabilities, just due to where we are with CRM.
No, I appreciate it. And now the other option is that you set up a test environment within your data center if you don't want to use the hosted environment, so that it's already within your data center, and now you're just merging it to that point within your own data center. So both of those are flexible ways of solving that concern.
Man, that works. That at the 93,000 foot view, that sounds awesome. But as anything else, the trite saying is that the devil's in the details, and we'll find something. But at a high level, that's a great answer.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely correct. The devil's certainly in the details, and for us, that gets down to more your operational workflows, and the more we understand about your workflows and where they can be automated, for that matter, where you don't have users that don't have to have users, go between multiple displays, but actually just click a workflow button and run a workflow. And whether that's a very complex process, or would have been a complex process like managing parts inventory and transfers, it becomes a simple click of a button. So it really gives you a lot of power tools all within the CRM infrastructure, so all of your traceability, auditability, reporting becomes very simple. It's one environment.
Yep. Cool.
So I guess from a next...
That's really the high... Go ahead.
I guess I think you're about to go to where I was about to go to. From a next steps perspective,
I think so.
did you want to schedule a potential demonstration? And this would be, as I said before, kind of a high-level, we call it a level 1 demo, where we'll just take you through the stock product out of box, right?
Yep,
and
that'd be perfect. That's all we've seen from the other potential solution providers, is what you would call a level 1 demo.
Perfect.
And so this is where other people are. We've talked about a level 1 demo based on the functional requirements document, me having one additional Q&A session with folks. Some folks have already provided us with rough order of magnitude costing, which may seem a little bit early, but all we're really trying to do is just make sure that we've got budgeting set correctly, and if we have an order of magnitude problem, that we resolve that before really moving forward. And then starting to collect some references. So you're only really one step back, which was, hey, conduct a level 1 demo, and then we start working on a rough order of magnitude costing, just to make sure that expectations are in line. It's nothing that we would hold you to. I mean, when I say rough order of magnitude, I'm using the project management definition, which means plus or minus 50%.
Right. Appreciate it. Now, have you identified the different potential vendors for one another? Are you able to share with me who the other products are that you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's asked, and I've been kind of forthright about it. Hitachi.
Yep.
Astia.
Yep.
Field Power. And Service Power.
Know them all. Actually, I was a VP at Astia, so I know the product quite well. Was involved in the development of it.
Excellent.
And
well,
I work
like
at FieldOne.
Everybody that's asked, I've been very upfront about who's been involved. So.
No, I appreciate that, and that gives us a better sense of the types of responses and the types of, more importantly, really what you're looking for. Because there's a bunch of players out there, and gosh, there's literally hundreds of organizations out there that provide a certain level of field service automation. But that certain level, to your earlier point, is the devil's in the details. What is that level?
Right.
So, did you want to try to target a date for that level 1?
Yeah, sure do. Sorry, admittedly, I think that talking about the weather the first time you meet somebody is kind of a cop-out. Everybody kind of says, oh, hey, how's the weather? But actually here we're having a pretty heavy rainstorm, and it was hitting my window to the point where I wonder if it was hailing on my car.
Oh, my gracious.
It's not, but that distracted me for a moment.
I can appreciate that.
I apologize.
No worries, no worries.
I definitely do want to schedule the level 1 demo. I do know that a couple of the key folks that I want involved are not available for the remainder of this week. If you want me to, how long does your level 1 demo normally take?
We like to do about an hour and a half. This way we have lots of time for questions, really get a better sense of goals even beyond, or concerns, even beyond what perhaps maybe might be inherent in the document.
An hour and a half is about what other folks have requested. So if you want, I could take the first stab at a couple of times based on Outlook, early next week that would work for us.
That's perfect.
And so throw out a couple suggestions. You let me know what may or may not work. I'll send it out to the group. And, if somebody hasn't updated their calendar, we may get to move it. But at least we know what our constraints are, and you and I can take the first stab at it.
Now, in terms of project time frame, other things that you might require, like maybe a return on investment analysis, have you done those, and do you have a defined project timeline?
No, we don't. I met with the group yesterday afternoon, and admittedly, one of the things that I'm trying to do, just to give you a little more transparency here, I'm in a relatively new role, and we're trying to add a greater level of discipline across quite a few processes, and one of them would be, project and partner selection. So some of the processes aren't really very defined as far as how we go about this, and I'm defining them using this project as a guinea pig, for lack of a better term.
No, appreciate it. So
the next milestone, met with the group yesterday, the only milestone we have is, hey, we'd like to get, the rough order of magnitude costing in place, and to have conducted some referencing to, some reach out to each group's references by the end of the month.
Great. So I can certainly provide a rough estimate from a budgetary perspective of costing. What we like to do is we like to do a bit of a return on investment analysis, so we understand, frankly, what's the value, and what's, as the old saying goes, what's your pain, on a scale by 1 to 10. If you really think about it, just implementing a new solution is probably a 4 in and of itself. So,
right.
If the solution's not providing you value that's above like a 5 or a 6, it's always questionable whether or not this is going to make sense. And then if we can quantify that value, I think we can really get a better sense of, why it's important to do or not. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes all the sense in the world. I'm actually kind of excited about that, because it would be another level of discipline that I'd be excited about introducing.
Now, my
point just a minute ago.
Right. I can send you a data gathering page that is part of our ROI calculator, and what I'll also do is send you an NDA agreement so that you are very comfortable that none of your information is ever going to be shared with anyone else. And then from that, really, once we've completed the data entry, I'll get you a copy of the actual ROI calculator so you understand fully where these calculations are coming from. And I think that's going to be of value to you as you really start looking at the viability of the project.
Excellent. Yeah, that's right in my wheelhouse. Just to give you a little more insight into my background, my first role out of college, and unfortunately it's starting to be quite a long time ago now,
I know the feeling.
was I was an industrial engineer.
Actually, that's where I came from.
Is it? Excellent.
Yep, I used to work for companies like Honeywell. I was an operations manager there. I had a systems integration firm back in the, oh, I hate to say this, late 80s, early 90s, but so you understand why I said I resemble your remark, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I have well, I'm afraid. She's very, very solid young lady. I have a daughter heading off to college next year, so.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Is that just one child or the multiple kids?
I have multiple. I just have one that's ready to go to college.
Yeah, I have four, so I have two that have completed that process, and it is a very, well, at least for me, it was a very interesting journey, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I can only imagine. No, I've got three, so you actually still taught me out. And actually, three puts you above the curve these days. So.
Yeah, it does. And four kind of put us in a crazy spot. We have very close friends that have six, and
Wow.
another close friend family rather that we have that have three kids, and we've gone on vacations together, and gone to dinner, and you really look at how this whole group takes over a restaurant. It's almost frightening. But
Well, what would be frightening even before that would be to reach consensus on where to go to dinner.
right, we have six people and how many kids? And it's oh gosh, six
Wow,
adults, I should say.
that's a logistics challenge. So kind of reeling it back in just a little bit. I came out of an environment where we had to cost justify. As an industrial engineer, we had to cost justify a project, implement the project, and then do back-end auditing of the resulting process improvement in the plant for the project.
Yep, familiar with the process.
So starting to put in a bit more quantifiable discipline here would be something I could really embrace.
Excellent, and that's all part of that mutual success plan that we talk about. Is we want to make sure that, look, we're not spinning our wheels, to be very blunt, and you're not spinning your wheels with us. That we have the right solution, that it's going to meet all of your requirements, that it's going to give you some unique differentiation, and most importantly, not only is it going to work, it's going to provide you some return on your investment. So that's why we really try to go through all these steps.
No, I really like that step quite a bit. And obviously that's what we're trying to accomplish in a very rudimentary sort of fashion by asking for a rough order of magnitude estimate early on. It's to avoid the wheel spinning. And now, while it was more qualitative, that feels like it'd be hard to get the ROI. But I appreciate you giving us giving us something to consider as far as a framework for making it a bit more quantified.
Perfect. I'll have that out to you today. And of course, once you have your targeted meeting dates and times in place, I'll make sure that I have our resource kind of spun up and ready to go through not only your document, but also a demonstration that speaks to what your document asks for.
Got it. That'd be great.
Anything else that I can provide you on our side?
Not right now. This is the exact kind of conversation I thought we'd have first out. Just share a little bit of information. You've kind of learned where we are in our maturity. We understand at a very high level where your solution is. I have a sense, possibly inaccurate, because we've only been talking for about 40 minutes of what some of the strengths may be. So then the next option is to conduct the level 1 demo, give the rest of the group an opportunity, and myself included, to take a look at your product, give the rest of the group the opportunity to inject their opinions, so you can get more of a flavor for what the organization's looking for from folks other than me.
Appreciate it. And then from that, we can certainly, once we really have a thorough understanding of your workflows, move it to that level 2 demonstration where you get a better sense of what it's going to be like when it's actually installed in our environment.
Yep.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Perfect. Now, I guess my very last question is do you have an order of magnitude of the well, I should say anticipated desktop user community versus the mobile user community?
Sure. I was going to include this. It looks like, as far as rough numbers, we're anticipating up to 70 back office users.
Okay.
250 internal technicians.
Okay.
And up to 1,000 third-party technicians spread across 50 companies.
Got it.
And of course, 2 or 3 companies represent the lion's share of those technicians, and the remainder are the one guy in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Got it. Yep.
You
That's
know,
perfect.
We work with a couple large national guys, and then you fill in the holes.
Very appreciated. Very appreciated. So
Yep.
I will.
We do. I think it was going back to a very early question. I think we dove forward pretty fast. If we're not operating in all 50 states, which I don't quite think we are, you can assume national footprint in general, though.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, I think I have the notes I need to prepare for at least the level 1 demo conversation. And I will send you out the data gathering page for the ROI calculator as well as an NDA so that you, as I said before, that you're comfortable that your information will not be shared. And what I'll do is I'll also send you a brief overview, just a few bullets of who FieldOne is, much of which we'd already discussed, but just so that you have that if you need it internally.
Very cool.
Okay. Well, certainly great to meet you over the phone at least, and I look forward to participating in that next demonstration.
Excellent. I do too.
Clint, thank you very much for your time. You have my contact information, so if any other thoughts or questions arise, certainly feel free to just reach out to me directly.
Sounds good.
Thanks again. You have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.